Looking at Victory Park in Dallas today, you would have no idea it struggled for most of its 2 decades of existence. In fact, in 2010, D Magazine proclaimed that Victory Park was a bust. And to be fair, at that time, it was. It seemed as though Ross Perot Jr. and his vision for building the Times Square of Dallas had bit off more than he could chew. Was Dallas really ready for a truly urban neighborhood? For several years, the answer seemed to be no. Remember to like our video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. This is brought to you by Valet Maids Dallas, your Dallas cleaning service. Use code SAVE30 for $30 off your first home cleaning at valetmaids.com. Let's start by going back to the late 1900s when this all started. Well, 1997 to be specific. Back then, Ross Perot Jr., son of two-time presidential candidate, EDS founder, and very rich guy Ross Perot, owned the Dallas Mavericks. He knew it was time to build a new arena and proposed taking the rail yard where Victory Park sits today to build a new home for the team. Beyond that, he also had a vision for an urban, mixed-use community and surrounding it with office buildings, residential buildings, restaurants, and hotels. It was a vision for Dallas that hoped to compete with New York City or Chicago. Things started off well, and the stadium broke ground in 1999. American Airlines announced that it would be acquiring the naming rights for the stadium for $195 million shortly thereafter. The original plan for Victory Park was for it to have 31 high-rise and mid-rise buildings, with 8 of them being residential, sitting on the 75-acre development. And things seemed to be going according to plan. The first sporting event took place 2 years after the project broke ground on August 19, 2001. With the economy booming and plans for Victory Park set in motion, what could possibly go wrong? Well, everything, to be specific. After the terrorist attacks a few weeks later on September 11, 2001, and the ensuing economic downturn, Perot adjusted his plans to include more residential buildings, luxury stores, and scaling down the focus on office towers, in the hopes of saving his project. However, the experiment that was Victory Park was seen as a failure. Things with the project pretty much halted for several years until the W Hotel opened in 2006, and things began picking up steam again. From 2006 to 2008, almost 400 condos, 380 apartments, and more than 500,000 square feet of office space were built. Class A tenants including public accounting firm Ernst & Young, who probably got a great deal to occupy the space, moved into the neighborhood. Shiny new residential buildings opened, including the Cirque luxury apartment high-rise across from the AAC in 2008, and upscale restaurants were opened on the plaza. Cheap money was easy to come by to finance the development, and there was seemingly no end in sight to the construction. Things were so promising that in 2007, USA Today proclaimed that Ross Perot Jr. was downtown Dallas's savior. Perot was seen as a real estate genius. It was being built, but would they come? Short answer is no. People still weren't flocking to Victory Park as Perot had hoped. In fact, it was like a ghost town on nights that there wasn't an event. Therefore, the expensive restaurants that surrounded the AAC didn't really stand a chance. But why was the neighborhood an overall failure? It was nice, new, clean, and safe. So why were people staying away? The buildings in Victory Park actually won architectural awards. However, it takes more than pretty buildings for a mixed-use urban development to actually work. Consider the book Death and Life of Great American Cities, which was written by Jane Jacobs in 1961. Her book discusses scale and density and how humans relate to size and movement and safety in their built environment. Buildings constructed to human scale and out of natural materials are naturally more appealing to people. The tall, overpowering buildings that dominate Victory Park subconsciously drive away pedestrians. Think about Paris or Greenwich Village in New York. These are appealing, human-sized neighborhoods with plenty of pedestrians. That can help explain why developments in Dallas, such as West Village or even Knox-Henderson, with lower-rise, more approachable buildings, have thrived just a few miles away, while Victory Park has struggled. Though struggling, Victory Park kept chugging along. WFAA, the local ABC affiliate in Dallas, even opened its Window to the World studio in 2007 on the plaza in front of the AAC, which is reminiscent of the Today Show's Rockefeller Plaza, minus the people and anyone caring about it. High-end restaurant, Nine Steakhouse, and its sister restaurant, Nove Italiana, were right on Victory Plaza as well and banked on late-night diners. However, people rarely want a steak dinner or a high-end Italian meal right before or after attending a basketball or hockey game. It just doesn't work conceptually. Plus, there wasn't enough traffic on non-event days to support such restaurant concepts. Remember how at one time Victory Park had the vision of being the Times Square of Dallas? So, from 2007 to 2014, Victory Park hosted Big D NYE. The event featured live music and was similar to the New Year's Eve celebration in Times Square. But the partnership with WFAA and the American Airlines Center dissolved in early 2015. One of the main reasons it was canceled was security. In 2014, over 42,000 people packed the plaza. It was the one night of the year that Victory Park was too successful. Although it had some successes here and there, that wouldn't last long. Things started to grind to a halt with the 2008 recession. Gone were the easy financing deals of the early 2000s, and with it, much of the enthusiasm from developers. The Mandarin Oriental Hotel was supposed to be built across the street from the W, but they pulled out, saying the area already had overdeveloped luxury. With failing restaurants and lack of new development, Victory Park was once again seen as a failed experiment. It seemed as though Perot's dream was dying. He tried to hold on, but by 2009, the German real estate fund US Treehand took over Victory Park in an effort to keep it afloat. It wasn't easy, as some of the once popular Victory Park staples began to concede. While it started out as a popular late-night venue, the Ghost Bar inside of the W Hotel saw revenue decline 76% from May 2007 to May 2012. Keeping it open wasn't sustainable, and it closed in 2012. The W Hotel also closed its Tom Colicchio-owned craft restaurant inside the hotel. The plan was to replace the high-end craft with a more affordable and approachable cook hall concept. This was a sign for things to come in Victory Park. Despite the high-end closures, there was still a lot of hope and promise surrounding the development. In 2012, the development owners optimistically proclaimed that Victory Park was going to experience a rebirth. Developers acknowledged that Victory Park needed more residents and more casual dining options for the neighborhood to thrive, and plans began for more condos and apartment units in the hopes of saving the development. The new plans seemed to have worked, but they took several more years to be realized. By 2018, Victory Park actually did experience a rebirth. It wasn't just the kind that was proclaimed in newspaper articles by ambitious developers, but the kind with actual residents, street traffic, and thriving restaurants. The new owner of Victory Park, Einstein USA, and retail partner Trademark Property Company planned on undergoing a full re-merchandising and 85,000 square feet of new retail space, and they seem to be on the way of doing just that. New apartment buildings opened, including the Ascent Victory Park, Victory Place, and the 23, and restaurants such as Macero, Billy Can Can, and Hero by HG were opened as well. Today, Victory Park is more of a true neighborhood, and it actually looks alive on days when there is not an event. This is partially due to more apartments, an entrance to the Katy Trail, a grocery store within walking distance, and restaurants for visitors and residents to enjoy. None of the original restaurants or shops from Victory Park's early days have survived the 20 tumultuous years. However, from the looks of it, most of the new businesses have managed to survive the 2020 pandemic. But the future of Victory Park remains to be seen. Has Ross Perot Jr.'s dream finally become a reality? Not sure it will last, but at least for now, the answer appears to be yes. Thank you so much for watching. Please watch our video that we have on Victory Park Apartments as well as downtown apartments, and we will see you next time. This is brought to you by Valet Maids Dallas, your Dallas cleaning service. Use code SAVE30 for $30 off your first home cleaning at valetmaids.com. Remember to like our video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications.